Imagine waking up in the middle of an empty field with one simple mission: build a thriving forest ecosystem in just 100 days. No shortcuts, no magic, only careful planning, patience, and the power of nature. What starts as a patch of bare ground slowly transforms into a living world filled with plants, insects, birds, and wildlife. Every single day brings new surprises, unexpected challenges, and incredible moments that prove how resilient nature can be when given the chance. Day 1 begins with a completely barren landscape. The soil is dry, compact, and almost lifeless. Before planting anything, the ground needs to be prepared. Dead leaves, fallen branches, compost, and natural organic matter are spread across the surface to improve soil quality. The goal isn't simply to grow trees, it's to create an ecosystem where every living thing supports another. During the first week, dozens of native tree species are carefully planted across the area. Fast-growing pioneer trees are mixed with slower-growing hardwood species. Shrubs, grasses, flowering plants, and ground cover are also added because a healthy forest depends on diversity rather than a single type of plant. Every seedling is watered carefully, and protective barriers are placed around the most delicate plants. By day 10, tiny signs of life begin to appear. Small insects crawl through the fresh mulch. Earthworms slowly return to the soil, breaking down organic material and improving fertility. Although the trees are still small, the ecosystem is already beginning to wake up beneath the surface. Rain finally arrives around day 15, changing everything. The dry ground absorbs moisture, encouraging roots to spread deeper into the earth. Fresh green leaves begin appearing on many of the young trees. Moss starts growing in shaded areas, while mushrooms emerge after the rainfall, helping recycle nutrients back into the soil. As the days continue, new visitors arrive. Butterflies flutter between flowers searching for nectar. Bees begin pollinating blossoms that were planted only weeks earlier. Dragonflies patrol small puddles left behind by the rain, while spiders quietly build webs between young branches. By day 25, the first birds discover the growing forest. They land cautiously on the small trees before flying away again. Some return with nesting materials, suggesting they may eventually call this place home. Their songs fill the morning air, making the once empty landscape feel alive for the first time. Not everything goes according to plan. A period of extreme heat threatens many of the young trees. Some leaves begin to wilt despite regular watering. To reduce evaporation, additional mulch is spread around each tree, helping retain precious moisture in the soil. A few plants are lost, reminding us that nature always involves setbacks as well as successes. Day 35 brings encouraging progress. The surviving trees continue growing stronger. Their roots become more established, allowing them to withstand changing weather conditions. Small patches of shade begin forming beneath larger saplings, creating cooler microhabitats where delicate plants can thrive. Soon, frogs appear near temporary pools created by rainfall. Their arrival signals improving environmental conditions. At night, crickets fill the forest with their rhythmic sounds, while fireflies occasionally light up the darkness with tiny flashes of green light. By day 45, insects have become an essential part of daily life in the forest. Ladybugs control harmful pests naturally. Ant colonies expand beneath fallen leaves, helping aerate the soil. Beetles recycle decaying wood, while countless microorganisms continue enriching the underground ecosystem that remains invisible to the human eye. As the forest grows denser, wind patterns begin changing. The young trees reduce soil erosion by holding the earth together with expanding root systems. Fallen leaves collect naturally, creating fresh compost that feeds future plant growth without any human intervention. Day 55 marks another exciting milestone. Several flowering shrubs bloom simultaneously, attracting larger numbers of bees, butterflies, and other pollinators. Their constant activity demonstrates how quickly biodiversity can increase when suitable habitat becomes available. Soon after, small mammals begin exploring the edges of the forest. Curious rabbits cautiously search for food among the grasses. Squirrels race across branches, collecting seeds and accidentally planting future trees by forgetting some of their hidden food supplies. Even these tiny animals become important forest gardeners. Heavy rainfall during day 60 tests everything built so far. Water flows through newly formed natural drainage channels instead of washing away the soil. The thick layer of mulch protects delicate roots, while dense vegetation slows runoff and allows more water to soak into the ground. By day 65, the forest feels dramatically different from the empty field seen only 2 months earlier. Layers of vegetation now cover the landscape. Tall trees stretch toward the sky while shrubs fill the middle layer and grasses protect the forest floor. Every level supports different forms of life. As evening falls each day, birds return to roost among the branches. Their presence helps spread seeds from surrounding areas, introducing even more plant species into the developing ecosystem. Nature slowly takes over the restoration process itself. Around day 70, vines begin climbing several trees, creating additional shelter for insects and birds. Ferns spread through moist shaded areas, while patches of wildflowers continue blooming, providing food for countless pollinators. One surprising discovery occurs during a morning inspection. Tiny tree seedlings have begun growing naturally from seeds carried by birds and wind. These unplanned arrivals represent one of the greatest signs of success because the forest is beginning to regenerate without direct human assistance. Day 75 brings cooler temperatures. Morning dew sparkles across leaves, supplying extra moisture for smaller plants. Mushrooms appear more frequently, silently breaking down fallen branches and returning nutrients to the soil. The soundscape changes dramatically as well. Instead of silence, the forest now echoes with bird calls, buzzing insects, rustling leaves, and distant frog choruses. Every sound reflects another piece of the ecosystem becoming established. By day 80, several trees have grown taller than expected. Their expanding canopies provide increasing shade, reducing ground temperatures and helping retain soil moisture. New habitats form beneath these shaded areas, allowing moisture-loving plants to flourish. Predatory birds occasionally fly overhead, attracted by the growing abundance of smaller animals. This signals that higher levels of the food chain are beginning to recognize the new habitat. Day 85 reveals one of the most satisfying transformations. Areas that were once cracked, dusty soil are now covered by thick vegetation. The risk of erosion has dropped significantly, while the forest captures carbon, filters rainwater, and improves local air quality. As day 90 approaches, wildlife activity continues increasing. More bird species appear each morning. Butterflies become common sights throughout the flowering areas. Even reptiles such as harmless lizards find shelter beneath rocks and fallen logs. The final 10 days focus mainly on observation rather than intervention. Instead of constantly maintaining the forest, nature begins managing itself. Plants compete naturally for sunlight, insects balance pest populations, and fallen leaves create fresh nutrients without human involvement. Day 95 highlights just how interconnected everything has become. Bees pollinate flowers. Flowers produce seeds. Birds spread those seeds across the landscape. Trees provide nesting sites. Fallen branches feed fungi. Fungi enrich the soil. Healthy soil supports stronger plants, completing a continuous cycle of life. Finally, day 100 arrives. Looking across the landscape, it's almost impossible to believe this thriving forest was once empty ground. Hundreds of plants now grow together, creating shelter for countless insects, birds, amphibians, and small mammals. Every leaf, root, flower, mushroom, and animal contributes to a balanced ecosystem that continues evolving every single day. Although 100 days is only the beginning of a forest's life, it proves something extraordinary. Nature doesn't need perfection, it needs opportunity. With thoughtful planning, native plants,